Hello YouTube and welcome to another Doctor Who Series 8 review. This time I'm going to be looking at episode 10, which was In the Forest of the Night. This episode was not great, very weak, sort of not relevant, I don't think. When reading up on the series before the series started, this episode sounded quite interesting, like the forest taking over and stuff. And I thought it could have some links to the Crinoids coming back, because obviously Doctor Who's had this thing where classic enemies come back once a year, and we've had that up until this series, and it's not been the case. Obviously, the Daleks were reintroduced in Series 1, the Cybermen were reintroduced in Series 2, the Master in Series 3, the Sontarans and Davros in Series 4, Sontarans in Series 3 as well, and the Macra. Silurians in Series 5, the Cybermats in Series 6, the Great Intelligence in Series 7, the Ice Warriors in Series 7. We've just not had anything in Series 8 so far, which, you know, is as a fan, you sort of want to see the classic monsters that you recognise from the old. We even had the Zygons in the 50th anniversary special, so that was one thing. The Crinoids were actually quite a good idea and thing to do with tree spores and infecting people. That would have made a much more interesting story, I think, than just the only threat in the episode was the zoo animals, and they were only in it for 30 seconds or something. So there was actually no threat. I mean, obviously, up until the point where it was really like the trees are saving us, there was no. We thought that the trees were the threat, but I kind of saw it coming. About halfway through, I was like, I know how this episode's going to end. In fact, I was more interested in the next time trailer for Dark Water than I was about this episode. It did have some good moments, like I mean, the kids were the standouts in this episode. I think Maeve's performance was brilliant, and the young lads were very good. The scene where they step on the TARDIS and the Doctor doesn't know what to do, and he's just like, "You could come down, but don't touch that, don't touch that." I quite like that. That scene was quite good, but it doesn't lend itself very well. The idea is there, but there's no which was needed, I think. It kind of ruined everything for me. I mean, maybe on further watches, it might change my opinion of the episode, but I don't think it will. We saw Missy again, so there was a solar flare in the episode, and that's the second one in one series. So I'm thinking that that's not a coincidence. Maybe I'm thinking maybe Missy caused the solar flare now. That's what my theory of it is. It might not be the case, but that's what I think. Also, trying to pinpoint who Missy is still, it's quite confusing. Obviously, we're going to know next week with that one, which looks amazing. It looks really good. It looks a good finale. But you need a good finale to grip the end of the series, don't you? That's the way it works. The chemistry between Danny and Clara was good in this episode. The kids always know the fact that the teachers are going out with each other, and they made that obvious in the episode. And then obviously they with the kiss, and Maeve was like, "I knew it." And that scene where Ruby's like, "Oh, they're in love. People who are in love always fight," because it's that scene where they're having an argument. So yeah, Frank Cottrell Boyce, who's the writer of this episode, he's a newbie to Doctor Who. I don't think he's had the same impact as Jamie Mathiasen did in the last 2 weeks. Those last two episodes were incredible. Flatline still is my favourite of the series so far. This one kind of fell short, considering that the finale's coming up next week. I wanted it to go from Flatline to Dirt, and then Death in Heaven would be like at the pinnacle. But it just wasn't the case. I mean, visually it looked stunning. The episode visually it looked great. The fact that they made a forest, but yet they built all these things that related to London and put them in the forest as well. That was good. Like they got telephone boxes and put them into this forest. I think they filmed in Newport, so they made loads of things that you'd find in London and put them in Newport. Even a double-decker bus, which I think was a cardboard cutout, but because it was shot at a distance, I was watching Dr. Extra. I found that quite interesting. Danny Pink's still quite a confusing character to me. We've not really seen him do all that much, to be fair. Hopefully he'll get some more. Only that he's a good teacher, and he wants to care for the students that he looks after. I think the students in the episode were at a right age to be in Doctor Who. I think if they'd have been younger, it might have been quite distracting. But year 8 seems a good. That seemed a good year to. So I remember that's when I started thinking. One of my favourite scenes in the episodes where it's flashback to the school and Danny Pink's teaching his class and he says find the value, find X, and Ruby's like it's there, sir, it's there. Find the value of X. It's not lost, sir. It's there. It's there. No, find the value of X. Why are you asking me all these questions? Give someone else a... I love that scene. I thought that was brilliant. I mean, it did have... I can weigh up pros and cons of the episode, but probably more cons than pros. But I think that's the case with most episodes. You've got to find the balance between... Sorry, I'm really tired. Between what's good and what's bad. Whereas Flatline had more really good moments, this one has had more bad moments, and I don't know. I didn't feel anything from this episode. I get that there's a theme running through it that don't chop trees down because they're actually saving you, and I like that idea. It might give a message to more people to stop cutting trees down. But cutting trees down is going to cut out all the oxygen to the world, which is inevitably going to kill us at the end of it. If there was no trees, we wouldn't breathe, which I would find it more difficult to breathe, and that would be a massive problem, which is why we need trees. I'm looking outside now, and I can see, a dozen trees, and that's what's helping me breathe at the moment. Because, yeah, so if we got rid of them, I like. I mean, that's a good point. I liked that they had a cameo appearance from the actress who plays Angie from Skins as the mother of Maeve and the missing girl Annabelle, and this series has been copying ideas. Like I spotted moments from the Doctor Widow and the wardrobe in this episode that was blatantly obvious, with the spores talking and Maeve having a deeper voice. It was like the trees from that episode. Yeah, and so it was okay, but I'm going to talk about the next time trailer because I was intrigued by this. I'm going to use the last few minutes to talk about the next time. I'm excited to see it. It seems like Clara's been mind washed or controlled by Missy or something along that caliber, because she's in the smoking, and I thought she's in the timeline, the Doctor's timeline again, but I don't think that's the case. But she holds the TARDIS cube and says, "You will never." And then there's a bit where Missy's like, "You know who I am," but I want to know who she is, and I don't know who she is, and this is what's annoying. But and then Clara Oswald's like, Clara Oswald has never existed, which is the thing that intrigued me the most, because like, are they playing on the Impossible Girl thing again, or because she's talking to a Cyberman, is she trying to just save herself from getting killed off a Cyberman? Can't wait to see the Cybermen. They showed the scene of the Cybermen coming down St. Paul's Cathedral like they did in the Invasion, and the pictures from the episode, the promo pictures from the episode have been leaked, and it shows the Cyberman, Missy, and the Doctor holding an old Cyberman head, a classic series Cyberman. So maybe we'll see classic series Cyberman. We also the clip showed the reappearance of Kate Stewart and Osgood from the 50th anniversary special, so they're definitely in it. Which I mean, I knew anyway because that's in filming pictures, but it was nice to see that that's actually confirmed and that they're going to be in the finale, which was good. And the whole mystery is going to be over who Missy is, and I think she has some relevance to Clara more than the Doctor. Which is why I wouldn't, if most of the series has been focused on Clara, more companion focused instead of the Doctor. I mean, we've just got a new Doctor, and Clara's had sort of more time to shine in this series. Albeit it's probably going to be her last series. There's been hints that she's leaving the show, but that's not necessarily the case. But I'm also foreshadowing and thinking that something bad's going to happen to Danny Pink in the next or Clara, which is going to result in that relationship being in jeopardy or trouble. But that's my I did my review. I watched this one once, and maybe I didn't give it a fair enough chance, but a lot of the things that was necessary. I mean, there's a lot of storybook themes related in that episode, which I quite liked. Six, I think. But I'm so excited for next week. I hope Stephen Moffat knows what he's doing.